Yeah, hi, I'm Lokesh Jha. Welcome to the React series. If you have been following this channel from the beginning, HTML, CSS, and 5 parts of the JavaScript, this is the moment you were building for. In the first video of React, we were going to cover what React is and why it exists, how to set up it, and JavaScript, JSX, and components and props. By the end of this video, you will be having a working React app running on your. So the first section is what is React and why does it exist? Why, if we have JavaScript, then why do we need and we have HTML and CSS? So why do we need React in first place? So to understand why React exists, we need to understand the problem it solves. Let me show you the real example in vanilla JavaScript. So vanilla JavaScript means plain JavaScript. There is no extra thing attached to it. So how the JavaScript is, we call it vanilla JavaScript. So every time data changes, you have to manually update the DOM. So what happens? Let's suppose you have a JavaScript code here and it changes some DOM. You have already seen that write document dot this and equals to this. We update some value of the HTML we have, and you see the page in your browser is loading with the new content. So what happens? We need like this line manually goes and update this DOM. Imagine a shopping cart. The user adds an item. It just clicks that okay, I need to add this cart, and you need to update the card count. Sorry, the card count in the header. So here you have something like your cart made, and you have a number here like one or two. How many items you have in the cart? You need to update this count, so and update the total price also because the items have increased or decreased, so the total value will be changing. So these things need to be done manually. So every single time this will be happening. Also there is a change that whenever this DOM happens, the whole page refreshes. What do you mean by manually updating? So you need to write code for that okay, if a user has updated this cart, then I will call a function which updates this value, that update the count here and update the sum here. So recalculation will happen, and all this updating of this value will happen. That is just a number which needs to be happen. So these codes will be written by ourselves, and this will be updating that. So this is the extra work that we have right now with the vanilla JavaScript. If you see here, yeah, we have manual DOM updates. So it is painful at scale when we have like large front end. So it will be a critical problem here. As r to add to cart is cart dot push item we are adding. So we have to manually update every part of the UI document dot query selector cart count. So we are increasing the by the cart of length. Then the cart list is updated. Then total is updated. Then checkout button is updated. That okay, that is disabled for all those things. And if there are more dependency of cart being updated, we need to update that. Let's suppose there is some offer needs to be happening if the cart exceeds 199 rupees. So that will be also initiated. So all those extra things need to be done by writing here. Okay, I need to do this. As our app grows, this becomes a nightmare. You forgot to update any one element, two parts of the like two parts of your app showing different data. Your cart on the header is showing something, and when you click on checkout, so that is showing something different because the developer forgot to update the checkout page. So you spend more time managing the DOM than building features. So this is the problem. So what is React proposing here? So React solution is describe what your UI should look like, and for a given state of data. So you can just describe, okay, I need something this to be linked with this, and this will be linked with this, and all those things you will just describe it in the code, and React automatically updates the DOM and changes the data. You stop managing DOM manually, you just manage the data. So you need to just update the value that okay, I have updated this cart items. So this update will trigger all update for the other DOM which are dependent on this. So for example, if you can consider that vanilla JavaScript DOM manipulation is something like updating a spreadsheet by typing in every cell manually, and while one input changes. So I don't know you have context of the Excel or not, but what happens, let's suppose you have an Excel sheet and you have your marks of maths, science, SST, and all those things. And here is the total value. So in vanilla JavaScript, just consider if any of the marks changes, you need to go and calculate and you need to put the value here. But React.js have an automation that whenever some value changes, it automatically calculates and updates the value. So you do not need to worry that okay, sum is there and average is there. So these are auto calculated. You need to like you were not going to recalculate and put it the value here. So it saves uh, the time and also human error also. So this is the React solution. Now we have a context that okay, what React solves. So now we will understand what React is. So React is a JavaScript library for building user interfaces created by Facebook. It is created by Facebook in 2013. It's open source used by Facebook, Instagram, Airbnb, and Netflix, Flipkart, Swiggy, and multiple other companies also. One thing I will clarify that React is not a framework across Angular. So this is a framework, but React is a library which is developed by Facebook. So React handles only the UI layer. It does not handles routing, HTTP calls, or global state by itself. You add other libraries for these. Like I will explain those things. So the core idea that we see here of React declarative UI is instead of this imperative telling DOM what to do step by step like this, what we have is return and something we return as a function. So it describes what you want. So right now I'm just returning that okay, for the greetings you are sending me name and I am sending the HTML type of component that I need to render. So React gives a kind of freedom. So see here we didn't do the backtick here and didn't added the dollar. So we can just directly do a text of hello and we put a variable like this. The HTML tags are there. This is the kind of freedom, kind of ease of work by the React. This is a simple upgrade which reduces the line of code and do the more of kind of a structure working. We will see more in when we are writing code. You will have a context of this. It looks like HTML inside a JavaScript. That is JSX. Now, if interviewer asks that you why do we use React and what is React? So you can answer that React is a JavaScript library used in building a user interface created by Facebook, and it uses component-based architecture where UI is broken into reusable pieces. So let's suppose you have a page and there is a header and there is a footer. So you can just write it once, and whenever you have multiple pages, so you can just reuse this component always. So this is reuse of the component. Okay. And it solves the problem of manual DOM manipulation by making UI declarative. You describe what the UI should look like for a given state, and React efficiently updates the DOM when state changes. Key advantage is reusable component, efficient DOM updates via virtual DOM and larger ecosystem. So first thing is you just declare HTML or you say UI what you wanted. The DOM manipulation is automatic through virtual DOM. We will cover this. So there is real DOM and there is virtual DOM. The DOM of virtual DOM is the copy of that which is made to mimic the real DOM, and then React goes and changes everything in the virtual DOM and that gets synced with the real DOM. So the UI rendering is fast and the whole page do not refreshes. So what does this mean? So you know that there is HTML, this is head. We have already seen a tree-like structure, title, and something like all those things. We have body, then we could have some div here and all other things. So this same replica is made in the background. This is virtual DOM. This is not what you see, and this is real DOM. This is what you see on your screen. So React doesn't go directly to the real DOM and to change anything like h1 needs to be changed to like A to B. The inner text HTML needs to be changed from A to B. It doesn't do that. It goes to the virtual DOM. It changes it. Like, okay, we have change here. Then there is a comparison mechanism in React. It compares React and virtual, it compares the real and virtual. Whatever difference the update we have in the virtual, that is updated only in that point. What it leads to? It leads to no refresh page. If you have something here only needs to be updated, this part will be updated. This page will be not disturbed. So let's suppose you have a notification icon where I need to show the count of notification and the whole page is here. So I will just update this part and this whole page will be staying there. So it will save, let's suppose if we refresh the whole page, so it will go as blank and then again it will load and we will have multiple API calls also to show these pages content. But right now what we are doing, just we are updating this part. So this part API call will be called only and these will be not disturbed. So this is kind of better UI UX. So one of the most important concept of React, interviewer love to ask this question. The real DOM is slow to update. So even every time we change something, the browser has to be recalculating the layouts and repaint everything. React solved this problem with the virtual DOM, a lightweight copy of the real DOM kept in memory. And when the data changes, React creates a new virtual DOM. It compares. So the new virtual DOM is created for the what I need to show in the UI. So this, the virtual DOM that React created, it compares it with the previous virtual DOM. Then the this process is called diffing. So now we have a difference in the old and new DOM we have. It finds only what actually changed, then it updates only those specific parts of the real DOM. The process is called reconciliation. So what happened? The real DOM is there, a copy of virtual DOM is made, and then React produces a new virtual DOM, which is updated one. These two are diff, found out what is new to update, then this is updated here, and we will just have those parts only updated so it will be fast. So this was the virtual DOM, and we can also take example like virtual DOM is like editing a Word document instead of rewriting the entire page. Time to fix the typo. You have a report and you have just some typo, but in the era of typewriters, we used to rewrite everything because of the typo. But now we have a soft copy. We can just go and just edit those typos which needs to be fixed, and the like it will reduce the cost because we are just effective. We are just resolving those errors which needs attention. We are not rewriting everything. So this is the example we have. Now let's go for the section 2, which is setup. So in setup, I will assume you have Node. If not, please install Node. While installing, you can go with nvm. It will install Node. Okay, so first you will install nvm. It is a Node versioning manager. It helps you install multiple nodes versions, and with Node, the npm package with comes with it. This is the package manager where all the libraries are stored for the node. You just download it and use it. And if this is installed, you can just go for next step. Here you can do node version. So you will find out okay which node version you have. If it shows any error that not found or something, then you need to install it. And then again npm version, so it will show this. I did node version, I got the version, then npm version, I got the npm version. So this is the prerequisite. We have already shown this in the setup video. You can just refer that, or you can just Google it. You will find the node. It is easy to install and you can install it. You can go for the LTS version or any version you want. The LTS version means this is lifetime support given by Node. This version will be supported by Node for longer time. means lifetime. So it is okay to use Node, that kind of version. Just write Node install, and you will come here, and here you have all the steps for macOS, for Windows, for Linux. Now we will create a React app using Vite. React using Vite. So here you click get started, and this is the first line, npm create Vite latest. This is npm package managed. This is yarn, which is also a package manager, and here we have pnp, which is also package manager. Just they are maintained by different sources. These tools are new, you can use either of them. Let's use this npm for now. So there are two popular ways to create a React project. For like creating React app Vite, we use Vite. It is faster to install and faster to run. Also easy. You might face the if you go for raw, so it might take some time. So Vite reduces that work. So this has created my first React app inside this React folder. I was inside that. That's why. And these were auto created by this by the single command, and this is running now. So we have this page running. So this React app is running, and it is this page. So by default we have something like if count is 0, you will click here, so count is coming 1. The whole page is constant. This only block is updating. Okay, this is the counter, for example, just to check the app you have installed is working correct or not. So I've added the instructions here in the README. Either you can just follow this video, what we have done, or you can just revisit this and create the React app. I hope this you can pause the video and just do the setup so that your React is working, the project installed, and you can just run these commands one by one. And after npm run dev, the terminal will show you this URL, and usually it is 5173 when you run through Vite, so it configures that. And yeah, your Vite plus React page is running here. Now we will see how the folder structure looks. So you will see node modules here, and whenever you are making any project, and in either backend or frontend with the React or Node.js, so you will need some packages. Like if you are working on backend, you will need Express. If you are working in the front end, then you will need some packages. So here we have Vite. So in this in Node modules, we will have all those libraries that we want to use. It will be imported from the npm. So this is npm package here. So you will have all the whatever like React. If you see, so React is the library here. So these are kind of packages that you need. So first we will see the package. So this package.json will have all the information about the project and all the dependency you have here in the project. So you will see I have ESLint types and plugins, ESLint and all those things as a dev dependency, and the direct dependency are React and React DOM. Then we have some scripts that when I do something like npm run, and what I write here to skip, like let's suppose here two words and I want to type just build, npm run build, so it will trigger. We are not inside that project. So yeah, now if I write npm run build, so it is doing Vite build, so it is running this command. So this is kind of script. We write just one or two words here, that we have a kind of trigger that okay, npm run whatever I write, so you need to run this command. So it's like that. It's kind of having a shortcut for the command. Now we have type, modules, versions are there, and private name. These things are there. Okay, whatever React app name we have. Now, whatever dependency we have, when we do npm install, we click this, so it shows that okay, npm installed and added one package, audited 138, and these are 31 packages are looking for funding and those things. But what is the important thing that it said there has added one package, so it added one package in node modules, and whatever we want to add, something like npm I React we want to do. I or install either will work. I want to install React, so I will just do npm I React, and it says up to dated because we already have React. That's why. And earlier when we did the npm run build, so it creates a build file which is in dist. So here we have. So this is the build of this whole project, which will be used when we are running on server. And this is the difference. Okay, one more thing. We have git ignore file. So we have our local system, then we have our GitHub, then we have our server. So we have some files which are locally related, that is not important in GitHub because they will be regenerated when it will be deployed on server. So what happens? In your local machine, you just code it and you have a picture on your browser and you are testing and doing all those things. After you see that okay, this feature is built, now I will push to GitHub. What is GitHub? GitHub is a place where we store our codes and few more functionalities are there. And on GitHub, if we have some trigger that okay, when I have updated some code, it needs to be deployed on the server, so it will be deployed there. Now the size of code needs to be smaller. Either suppose the code is this much and the npm package we have installed, so the node modules is of this size. Let's suppose this is of 10 MB, just for example, and it is 1 GB. So what is 1 GB? So let's suppose there are some developer who are making your life easy and they are making some packages, something like when you see that a console.log is there, but also there is logger and other things. Similarly, how we have React. So we could have written our code in JavaScript, but some developer came in Facebook and they created a library called React and they made our life easy for the UI development. So this package, let's suppose it is taking this much of space and we are committing this to GitHub, and this GitHub will be pushing these whole changes to server. So due to the size of this, it will take so much of time. So we will see that whenever I do npm I, what happens? Let's see. If I delete this folder, deleted, and if I delete this folder also, deleted. So now the size, if we see, okay, find in river in finder, quick info. This is of 136 KB. Okay, so let's write it here that it is 136 KB. Now I will do npm I or install whatever one. So it will again bring the node modules. And if I do npm run build, so the build file will come. Now I will close this and again see the quick look. The file size is 73.2 MB. 73.2 MB. Okay. So let's just roughly put a 73,000 KB, and you will see how the huge difference is here. Or even if you don't see this, it becomes KB to MB just for the node modules and the build we have added. So what is happening? The size of code is increasing. it is just a normal code. That's why you will see that this much of difference, but in bigger code bases, it grows huge. So the whole code is here. Whatever library you are using, so the whole code comes here. So that's why these file size grow. So the thing is, what we do not push this part to GitHub, and GitHub also don't send that part. When this thing is deployed on server, the diff will happen that okay, what is the new update, and that will be deployed here, merged here. And at the time of deployment, I will do their npm I and npm build, so that it will just do the setup in the server. We need not to transfer that much of code, so it saves the bandwidth also and the time to push the new code. So this is a good practice. So Git is kind of terminal language, and GitHub is a platform, okay, that is given by Microsoft, but it is very initial choice of all the developer because it's free. Then the other providers are GitLab, Atlassian gives Git bucket here. So they have storage of code also, and other providers like Runner and other things also there. But the difference what we are saying, Git is responsible to send your code to GitHub or any other provider, and the other commands that helps in version control. So whenever you write some code and you push there, then you have marked it something like 0.0.1, then it will have some commit ID. Then again, you just came and changed something and pushed the code. So you having 0.02, and you suddenly got to know that, okay, this version is wrong. I needed this one. So you can go back to this version by reverting the code. So you can do those things. So control is managed here and here by the Git commit ID, and it helps into manipulate those things. So yes, it was just a small understanding that it is a language, Git, and GitHub is a platform. Now, again, back to the project structure we have. So this is node modules, all the installed packages, never touch this. It is not for any development purpose. It is just there and it will be used by the code. This is public. All the static files served directly from this public. SRC is there. Your code lives here. You need to focus on this. Okay, here we have assets, so images and fonts, static resources are here, and there will be one, yeah, index.html, single HTML file. So React is a single page application. So we write multiple components, we write multiple pages, but yes, still React delivers it as a single page application. So the entire app runs inside that one HTML file, and React dynamically updates what is shown without reloading the page. So it's like that. And we have main.jsx, the entry point which connects the React to index.html. If we go here in the SRC and app.jsx, yeah, in the main.jsx, since we saw that main is the entry point that connects to that. So here we have strict mode. This is for local development, not for. So what is app? If you control and click here, you will go in the app. This is app.jsx, and the app page, whatever we saw here, that is coded here. If so, this whole content is here. So this file takes your app components and render it inside the div. So it renders into this div, which is root. This is the connecting point. So now you will see that we just need to do anything like changes, and just we save this, and we need not to refresh the page. It will auto update. Here the .jsx thing, it just tells the bundler the definition that this file is JSX. You can also write JS, but it is more linear way, standard way to write JSX. Now we have JSX as the section 3. So JSX stands for JavaScript XML. It is a syntax extension that lets you write HTML like code inside JavaScript. It is not real HTML and it's not real JavaScript also. It is a JSX kind of mix of that. So Babel, a tool in your project converts it to a regular JavaScript before it goes to the browser to runs. So you write a code in React. It is kind of looking like mix of JavaScript and HTML, which is named as an extension of JSX. Then this code is converted by the help of Babel, and the browser is able to run this. And this is the code where you can see how a JSX, you see like in the element we just write a class name and title and hello world. So it looks like HTML, but you know that in HTML we write class, not class name. So this is the mix we see here. And in the Babel it converts to normal like react.create element and h1. So in, you need not to write this way the second line, but yeah, you need to understand okay how this first line is converted and how the then react look likes in the background, and what Babel does. So these things are there. So the first line, the constant element h1 and all those things that you will be learning, or the second line that will be like automation happening in the backend. Now we have JSX rules. So let's see that. First rule here, the class name, not class. So in HTML and CSS, we have already seen we use class, and in HTML we see div, class name, sorry, class and container. In JSX we write class name here. This is how we use in JSX. The rule 2 is must return one root element. We could not return something like h1 and p. We already, so this is the one of example we have already seen in the implementation, that all things should be wrapped in one, either in div or in fragment. So that's why we can't do like sending multiple each separate elements. Here this is the good example. So all things are wrapped into div. So this is the correct way, or we can do with the fragments. So the fragment do not add element by the div, so we will see the difference here. But yeah, we need to wrap everything in either fragment or div. And by adding div, when this element will be reached to the parent, it will have div. And if we are sending in fragments, so the elements will not have something kind of div. If you see in the console also, you will sorry, in the elements in the browser, you will find the tree structure by difference having a div, as it makes this as a branch. But if we use that, it will not be a branch. Now here we have rule 3, which is about self closing thing. In HTML we have seen that if we can use input image br for the break line, and we do not need it to close this tag. But in JSX, that is used in React, we need to close this. So this is the correct way how we can close and then use the input element in the JSX. Now we have rule 4, which is JavaScript inside JSX goes into curly braces. So this we have already used also. Hello, then curly braces with name. So this is how we use the any JavaScript in curly braces. I've added some notes here. Now we have rule 5, which is inline styles use an object, not a string. So here in HTML, we just wrote everything in kind of string and it was working. But in JSX, we will find that okay, these are also objects, as JavaScript itself is object oriented. So here we will see that okay, constant style equals to object, and this style we can use here as it is. So we have curly braces, and inside that we have written styles, because this itself is a object. And for the using of JavaScript in line, so we need curly braces. So that's why, or we can write this way. So these two both are correct. Just we have just separated this as object for more cleaner uh, way. And there will be two curly braces if we will be writing in inline. Now we will see components. So in the section 4, we have components, and a component is a reusable self contained piece. So let's suppose we have something. I've explained this already, that there is a header, something like this. This is a header here. Or if I go in this page, so this is a header where guides, config, plugins are there. And the other thing is footer, which is not visible here. But if we go here, then we will have this footer. And as I go to some other pages also, like something resources team, still there will be something in the footer. There might be some changes, but yeah, there will be some footer component needs to be shown. So these are reusable if we define at one place, and we can use this always. So why to write in each of the pages? So you will write a page and you will just import your header here. You will import your footer here, and you will pass that, okay, if this is a home page, so this, and if it is some normal page, just so what when it was incorporated or something, like name of the website or something. So these contents could be adjusted by sending props. What is prop? So when we call a function, we pass some parameters. So it's kind of that how we pass some parameters to a component. So we do this way. Okay. Now, so think your app as made of building blocks. Each blocks is a component, and a button, a card, and a navigation bar, or a form, or a header, these things. So each one is a component. It might be that they are not multiple uses, only once or twice, but we keep it as a separate file for the cleanness and easy to maintain. So you have a footer which is defined in some other file, and it is imported here in some multiple pages. And now you can just make some changes like, okay, this year needs to be 2026, and this will be applied to all of the pages at once. So this is very easy to code and easy to understand. If you got that, okay, this footer is this, and whenever you see some page and you will see that, okay, this footer is importing, so you now know that what is imported here, and also you have some understanding of what code will look like, so you it will give a ease of understanding also. So maintenance and ease of understanding comes, and you will see how when code increases, you need to keep each file smaller size. Each components will be separated so that it will be beneficial. Even if you go further, you will see each component have its own test case file, so that you need not to write these test cases for each of the files. Now this component is tested. Now whenever it is used in either of the pages, we know that, okay, if this test is passed, then this component is working fine. So we will not cover that thing here. So this is the kind of story of how components make things better in development phase. Okay, now in React, a component is a JavaScript function that returns JSX. So we have seen what is JSX. So what happens when we have seen how we call a function and it returns something, we restore that. So just is like for the UI, we have a component written here. From the page, we will call this component. We will get some JSX, and we will use that JSX to show on the UI. So it is pretty simple. Just distribution of the code is here. Now, if we go in the code, we will have it rename JSX rules, and I will give one for the ordering so that you follow this component. Now here, this is a component. So this button is a component. It returns JSX here. Returns JSX. And here we have written button. We have called this function thrice. So in order to write this triple time, we have just called this. And if we want to make any change, something like click me exclamation mark, so it will be updated for each of the use of that button. Here we have only one line, but yeah, later we will see how a component grows and how we will be using it. Okay. Now the button starts with capital letter. We have seen this. Okay. These components, this is required. This is the standard behavior. A lowercase tags are treated as HTML elements, and the uppercase tags are treated as React components. If we have some this smaller button, so we know that okay, this is the HTML button tag, and the bigger one here, these are the React components. So this is how we differentiate. Okay, I've added this note here also to follow later. Now we have functional components, which comes in modern React. There are two types, like two ways to write components: class component and functional components. Earlier than we used class components, and now you only need to know functional component. Just know that okay, there exists class components in the legacy system, and every new React project uses functional components. For example, so here, this arrow function component, most commonly style intro and 25, 6, these things. So greeting, return this. So we are just returning this way by using fat arrow function. And if the shorter version is this, if you have only one line to return or one line of the project, so you have something function which has only one line that should also be returned. You can skip the return and curly braces like this. Okay, and we have functional component like this. So these are kind of valid ways to write functional components. All three work. And this arrow one is the modern. Now, if we build a real component so we will be creating a profile card, and this way we actually see how the real world projects are built. And let's see. So for this, we will be going inside our project here in the SRC. We will be creating one folder components, and all the components we can either keep it here or the module structure we can follow. For the each module will have pages and components in them. So first now we will see the components. So since the avatar dot JSX, we will keep the first letter as capital. And here we can start with avatar equals with the fat arrow we have written, and here we can do return and this bracket. So this is how we return the JSX. So we will have our div with some class name as this. Alt is used when the image is not reachable. So the alternative text needs to be shown. So this is user avatar, and we will put some style on it. So inline styling is here. So we will use curly braces for the JavaScript, and also one more curly braces for the styling. So here we will do border radius. Now we have this avatar. So we need to export this. If we do not write this line, then this will be not accessible outside this file. So that's why we need to export this. This could be written by export default avatar, or here also we could have written export avatar. And we can close these. We can use another user info.jsx, and here user info equals uh, first thing is return, then sorry, this we will use this bracket, and in the return we know we need to have a div. Inside this only we will be doing anything. So h2, and here we will do kind of name. Let's hard code for this now, and something as paragraph, and okay, and we can give some class name here as user info, and then this much. So what we are missing is the export statement, export default user uh, user info. So we have exported this. Now for the card that we will be making, we'll have profile card.jsx, and again profile card with the fat arrow function. We will return, and this again div, and we will have some style here. Here we will use border 1 pixel solid. We have already seen how we these as CSS works. So that's why I'm not explaining, just I'm showing that how we use these CSS, inline CSS here. And we have border radius as something as 12 pixels, then max width as 300 pixels. We will not take that much of space. We need padding. In object, we need to give comma to write the next element, and text align. Okay, so this is kind of color of kind black only, and here we will add avatar, and we need to self close this and see how we have an import here, and we will have user info also. So now this component imports to other components from here, and this component profile card will be used in our main page. But before that, we need to add export default profile card. Now we will go in app.jsx. Here's the profile card. Let's look. Okay, it is running here. Yeah, this is running here. So we will go here and refresh. So see, this is a link for random picture generator. So it will be using that. Now we have some issues like this is uh, not in center and all those things. So we are not concerned about that right now. We just saw how these components are defined with capital letter with the extension as JSX, and one component use another component, and we have JSX. Now, if we have profile card, we have compressed the whole code here. If I control and click here, then I will go to the definition of profile card. Here I will see, okay, there is a div with some definitions, and this also used to other components. So if I want to look into avatar, I can go here and I can check, okay, we have an image link here, an alternative text and some CSS here. So we can fix if there is any issue. So this way we use components. Now if you come here and go to inspect and use this icon, if you go here, then you will see all the CSS elements here. Yeah. So styles here, what we have added, all those things are here. And if you go inside this avatar is here. So you now see that okay, the root is here that we have seen in index.html. We have this root, and that is here. If I close this root, everything is closed. There is nothing outside it. These are other things. You are not writing code for that. All your code goes inside this root. Here you have a style that you have defined. Avatar is here, which is inside this. See how if I close this, it's all gone because it is inside this. Avatar is here. If I open this, you will see the code here. If I open user info, you will see the code here. If I am writing any other components, that will be inside this profile card. So it will be here inside this branch. Else, if the same label is used, so it will be in the same label. So it's kind of tree structure that you see here. How we have root. A root have a branch that is of profile card. Profile card has a branch of avatar and user info. So this is the how we see a tree structure in our React. And now you see the problem that this name is hard coded. If you want other name, other profile cards also, so it will take you to define this profile card needs to have user infos of multiple different like user info locase, user info something. So this is not a good task. So we should need something kind of dynamic component that takes the name and shows that. So how we can do that? That is possible by using props. So fifth is props, and props we will see in action. So in short, we can say props are sort of properties and are how you pass data from the parent component. As we saw that what is parent here. So here we have root, and then root has this user profile card. Then profile card has these childs. So this is how you pass data from parent component to the child component. They make the component reusable, and instead of user info component that always shows the same name, you pass the name as a prop, and that will be shown here. And you can have multiple, just you can add a array, and that will have all the names, and you can just for loop on that and generate components for each element, so that you will be using that. I will show you. So first, let's go for avatar. Here we have hard coded the src also. Suppose I am getting the src, so I will use src, and where it will come from? So it will come from src here, and the alternative keyword will also come. So we have used this and alt. So these two things are there, and let's suppose this size. We want that okay, width and height needs to be given by user. If not, we will have some default value of 80. Yeah, so now we have src, alt, and size as the parameters that will be coming. And if not, we will have the default value for 80. Now, if we go back and we go for user info, then with the props here, we can add that okay, I need name, then what is role, then the city, like this. And we can have in curly braces, and yeah, also in the previous we missed this. Actually, one object will be passed, not the multiple. So we can do like this, and we will replace this by, let's remove this name also. We will be having understanding that okay, it will be name, and here we will do role. All are in curly braces because these are JavaScript city, because this is not a thing which is given by HTML. So we are using like this. So this mix is making this as JSX. Okay, now we will go for here. Now we have a profile card, so we need to pass from here. Here we will have all the params which needs to be used as the props. So in the object form, we will take all the alt, size, images, all those things, and this will be utilized when we will be passing the values inside this component. So we have avatar. So with src equals, then use the avatar. So I will change this param name avatar url, then alt. I will use name. Alt is used for the alternative keyword that needs to be shown when the image is not there. Similarly, in the user info, we will have the name as name, then role, city, all those things. And here this comma needs to be removed. Then the city will be added equals curly braces, then inside that city, and then so this way we have passed the props values. Here we need to do the same, since in the apps we will paste a users array of object, and here we will have id, names, role, and all those things. Skills we will add later. So these this way we are doing hard coding of the values. Later we will be taking it from backend. So right now I will pass this data. So in order to pass each user to the props card, to use the profile card, we need to map on this. First we will check if the users dot length greater than 0. Otherwise, if we do not have any user, we will just show a string that okay, no user found. Right now we will have a check that okay, if users are there, then show this profile card. So here we will do users dot map, and we will have users, and yeah, profile card with name as user. Here we need to have as removed, yeah, user dot name, then what is expected, users role and city. So in the role, we will put user dot role. In the city, we will put user dot city. And if the users dot length is 0, then we will put uh, div or just a paragraph. Let's put h4, that no user found. Okay. Now let's go here. We will have the images and the grid here. If I go to the root here, you will find that okay, we have multiple. Here we have multiple user profiles. So the 1, 2, 3 are there. See, and these inside them have avatar and info. So this is how it will be working. So it looks bad because we have not passed all things correctly. The other thing is we have used profile cards. If we go inside this, we need these also that I have skipped. So I need to pass. So URL will be user dot what is there, avatar, and for this size will be user dot, do we have any size? No. Okay, we will pass 80 here, let's suppose. Oh, we do not need to pass also. So now this will be like this. and we need to add some CSS things to look it good. So this is for you, that how we can make it more looking better. And this is the profile cards rendering from one profile card component. We have not written multiple, but we have just looped on the each of the components to run for each object we have in the array of users. And this way we have reduced the code. And otherwise we have to return write like each of, if we would be written in HTML, then it would be multiple lines of code for each of the components here. So this is the delivery of React, that how it reduces the code and it makes the front end also looks like kind of backend. So this is the library. Now what is the next thing is key props. So when you render a list of components with map, React needs a unique identifier for each element it needs, otherwise it will throw some error, something like keys missing or something, because each, yeah, here each child in a list should have unique key props. So this is key because it needs to identify each element as the unique thing. Currently we do not have that, so we could have written something in the definition of profile cards. We should have some keys, and it should be allotting that we need to watch. And what could be given something like as key and user dot id, which is unique, and it will be used, let's suppose you want to delete or get some details, so this key will be used in where we will be making some another API call. Okay, give me more details about this user, so we will use this. So now these will have some keys here. Okay, now we have some props rules. So props rules I will add here in code. And so we have props rules. The first one is props are read only. We never modify the props. So if the name is here, we do not do name equals to name dot to uppercase. This is the not a good behavior. We can take another variable name and just put that value here. Another thing is props flows downwards from parents to child. We can do by bottom to up. And any JavaScript value can be propped, so he can use either string, numbers, boolean, even array, object, functions. You can do anything, and let's suppose handle click is here and it will be used inside. So handle clicks is there, it could be used inside the profile cards. Okay, now after this we will be going for a mini project, which will be a product card, which will be of product card component. So let's go for that. Now let's go for the section 6. We have mini project, product card component. In the same project, what we created my first React app, there we will be adding these features. So in SRC, we have components, and here all those components live, which are reusable. And we will create one file here of product card.jsx. So this will be like, here we will be building product card components, how we have built this user cards. So same way we will be building these product cards right now, how we see in e-commerce site. So for here we will write constant product card, the name here, and this will be same for the standard practices. And now we have return fragments. So this is the basic component. We will add more features here. So let's take one div which will have some CSS. And then let's give border radius of something like 20 or 10 pixels. So this will be the style. Now we will add one image. We have seen this how we will be using the name of sorry, the props from here, and it will be utilized by having curly braces as the JavaScript will be used here. So here we will put name, then we need image, width will be here. Okay, so this is the more of kind of a structure how a product card will look. Let's like we will be adding more things here, but let's go to the app.jsx where we will need to add this. I will just do this as comment, or yeah, leave it here. We will add the product array here. So I'm just having a array of objects of products having ID, a mechanical keyboard, and all those things. Images are there, rating, in stock. We will be adding these elements later. First, just see how things are visible in the UI. So this is the fragment we have used in order to show the users. So we can use below this that either we can remove the users, or we can just keep this one. So let's see if we use product card. Okay, why this is happening? Because I forgot to export this default product card. Now if I go here, product card, yeah, correct. Okay, now we have the import of product card also. Uh, okay, we have some name ISO, I think. I've written it D here and D here. Okay, we need to rename this. It will be D and D here, and this will be gone. Now if I click change here, D. Okay. Okay, that needs to be imported. So I will do D and enter. Oh no, why it is not coming. Product card. Why? Product card. And what was the component? Product card. Yeah, now this is having a we have imported this product card from this component, and we have used this. Now if I do the control click, it will take me there. Now I need, okay, this will be a self-closing one, and we can pass some props, or in just one line we can pass. So what needs to be passed is what is expected: name, image, price. So okay, now we have to do like that. So I will have a check here that what is that, products, yeah. Now I will check that if products dot length is greater than 0, means there are products. So for the true condition, this is ternary operator as we have used above. We will show this, else we will show a div, or not important, just we can do h4 and wait a minute. So we write no products found, and let's close this h4 here, and we need to have a for loop on this. So products dot map will pass a product, and do this, return this. Here we will have product dot, what is the first thing? Product dot name image name as name, and then we have image as product dot image, and the other thing was name image price. So we can write price and product dot price. We can do a formatting with this format document. Now we will have a look. Okay, we can see there is error in price dot locale string is not a function. So we will go to the product cart, and for now we will remove this price, save this and refresh. So here we have mechanical keyboard. The images are random, so you can just ignore this. When you will be building, just use correct images. Here we have image, then we have the title of the name, then price is here. So this is how we use cards. Now let's utilize more of the stuffs here. Let's replace this. Now we will have something like this. We need to, yeah, now the price is in red. Now let's the next div will have some styles again. And here we will be adding ratings. So let's keep margin bottom. We will have something of 10 pixels. So this will show in the we have used floor plan to, so this will show the stars in by counting the rating how much we have. And here we have a span style, and we have added some styles. Here we will show the rating. Format this, we will use this, and here in app.jsx, let's break into the multiple lines for easy reading. And so what else we have? Image price, name, ID, and in stock. Okay, we will be passing in stock equals product dot in stock, and product dot ID. We will do this also. Okay, now let's see how this looks. We have 4.5, so 4 stars are dark and 1 is unfilled. So that's why the difference we see here is having the mat dot floor of the rating. So if you have 4.5, so the floor will give 4, and if you have ceiling mat dot seal, so it will give 5. We have seen this in the JavaScript last video, I think. So this is this notation is used for the darker star, and this is for the unfilled stars. This way we will show the rating in our cards. So now we have the stock and unstock thing. So for this, we will use this span here, and here we will simply use stocks. If that is true, then we will say in stock, otherwise we will show out stock. And here we need to import that. Uh, and stock, okay. So now we have these as in stock, this is out of stock. Now we need a feature that, okay, we have a button to buy now. If it is in stock, then it will be buy now, otherwise not. So we will add a button here. So this is the, okay, let's format this. And yeah, this is the button we have, which will have in stock. So these are CSS property. These are like very variable how you want and how the look should be. But this is the main logic that you need to see that, okay, if in stock is true, then I will show add to cart, and not if that is it out of stock, then it will say notify me. So how this will look? So here we have add to cart and here we have notify me. Now the product will look like this. If we decrease this, then see this is responsiveness, how the page size adjusted. So those are cards also adjust like, okay, if we have this much of size of the, okay, let's see how the mobile looks. So see, if the mobile has this much of bits, it will look like this. We can do more CSS styling to look into center and all those things. But yeah, this is more of the products, how we have add to cart and notify me, and how we make a card as a component here in this, and we reuse this in the either of the pages, and it could be used in multiple pages. Right now we have written all the code in app.jsx, but yeah, later we will see how we will define pages and there will be multiple pages. But yeah, all those things will be accumulated in this index.html as the one DOM only. So it will be one page, single page application. So this will be utilized if you see in any e-commerce website, Flipkart or Amazon's, how they have like thousands and millions of product, and this code is not written multiple times. It is just reused, and with just a map or for loop, we just render all those things, and by repeating the reusable code. In this video, we have covered what React is and the problem it solves, the virtual DOM, setting up a React project with Vite, and JSX and its 5 differences from HTML. Then functional components, how to write them and how to structure them, and props, how to pass data from parent to child. So this was the props, how we were receiving the data. So this is, we have products and we were passing that products into this component. So these are the information that need to be rendered for this component. So this was the props, how we send from parent to child component, and how the components are reusable. And you now have a working React app, which you have created components, passed data from props and rendered lists. So you have learned and utilized uh, main features of the React, which will make easier in the further run. But there's a problem right now. Our components only show static data. The profile cards always show some people and same people, and the product never changes. There is no interactivity. And in this video, the next video, we will be covering how the state and use state. Uh, Something like if we wanted to change something like how the plus minus you see in the cart button, you click on plus, so the value changes, that okay, this is added one, you can increase that value. So those things, counter toggles, input forms for the login, shopping cart, the cart on the top, we will see all those things, how the state will help us to update all the value. And if anything in this video was confusing, JSX syntax or props or components or anything, just drop a comment. I will read all those comments and I will just reply you. And also it helps in the next video that how to cover the video. So it will be more understandable. So yeah, subscribe the channel and we will see you in next video. Bye.